All right, so we had a little technical glitch, but we are back live now. And you've missed a lot of fireworks from the Stallions batsmen. They've really put their foot down and accelerated in the last few overs. It's been just a scintillating batting from some of their players. Shehan Jayasuriya leading the charge with 68 of 37 deliveries. And what a knock, what finishing touches by Shubham Ranjane. 42 of 15, and Ehsan Shah was in top form as he opened the batting with 41 of 22 deliveries. And it's been quite a demonstration by Stallions X this morning. Before the start of the game, we said that there's been overnight rain. The pitch might have some moisture. It might not be easy for them to just come in and bat. And it was a slow power play. They didn't really take off in the first 4 overs. I think their score was 27. From there onwards, the next 9 overs have gone for almost 140 runs. That is just insane batting. What a start to HPL, Roshan.
Yep, I believe you guys might have missed, but Munir here predicted a score of 130, and that was breached within one over of predicting that score, and they accelerated crazy in the last 3 overs, and they scored almost 60 runs.
Yeah,
60 plus runs in the last 3 overs.
that Manhattan looked like you were driving by some ranches outside of town, and then suddenly you land in downtown with those tall buildings. The last 4 overs, they went for almost 65 or 70 runs.
Yeah. Shehan Jayasuriya started the onslaught in that, I believe, the 11th over. And then Shubham Ranjane put the finishing touches on the final score and set an imposing score of 166, with Raiders needing 167 to win in 13 overs.
And what's going to give a lot of confidence to the Stallions dugout is the likes of batsmen like Kamran Sheikh, Nitish Kumar, you see on that list, Waqas Salim. All these guys weren't even used. So that tells you the depth the squad possesses and the kind of players they've got. We haven't seen much of Jaskaran Singh Buttar, but it's been told that he's also a power hitter and he's a good all-rounder. So I think overall they just, they have a packed roster, and you can expect to see similar kind of performances from them. Raiders bowling, if you take a look, Jacob Pinar started the innings pretty well with that big wicket of Shayan Jahangir first up. Calvin Savage bowled his first over, which was a maiden. And since then, his next 2 overs went for 34. Angelo Pereira bowled his 2 overs for 33. One of those overs was the one where Shehan Jayasuriya got stuck into him. Hassan Rashid bowled those 2 overs where Ehsan Shah dispatched him for 4 sixes and a 4. So his 2 went for 36. Usman Rafiq, I think, is the only bowler who can hold his head up high. And what's interesting is it seemed that the spinners were getting some perches. Those 4 overs between Usman and Karthik went for 36 runs with 1 wicket. So those were the 4 most economical overs in this innings. But Karthik didn't bowl out his second or third over. So couple of, I think, miscalculations from Siddesh. You would say that, Roshan?
I mean, that's the brutal nature of T20. I mean, the game moves so fast that, you call up somebody to ball, and then you feel he's the right person and continues, and the next over he's been taken for runs. So it is very hard to judge somebody like Siddesh, who has had a lot of experience captaining the Lone Star Athletics for the last few years. But again, I mean, it's tough. I mean, these are all good bowlers. On their day, they could do well, but today, just the way Shehan and Shubham they were going, it looked like, they were just like, regular bowlers, net bowlers. So they were being taken for runs quite a bit.
Interesting to see what kind of reply the Raiders come up with. I think they'll have to go all guns blazing. There's no other way for them. We'll be back after this little innings break soon. All right, we are back live. The commentators could afford to take a tiny break. Everything now is like timekeeping becomes so important at this point. This is played beautifully, and that's a good catch, but oh, that was a great effort. I wish we could have ball tracked and shown you that amazing effort by Shubham Ranjane. I'll try to narrate what I saw in front of my eyes. The ball was sailing over the boundary, I think at a height of about 8 feet. Shubham runs about 25 feet, leaps on his right foot, gets up in the air, catches it with both hands, and goes over the boundary. Before he did, he tosses the ball inside, runs back in, catches the ball again, and then he slips and falls outside the boundary. Unlucky for him. Really unfortunate. That effort deserved a wicket. But that wraps up the first over. Shehan Jayasuriya, after his exploits with the bat, starts off the bowling and gives away 7 runs in the first over. All right, we're joining you in the second over of the innings. The Raiders, RUN stands for Raiders Unlimited, like you see on your screen. They wish that that RUN translates into a lot of runs today because they are chasing a big score of 166 in 13 overs. We had lost an hour because of the rain delay, and we also used up that 30-minute grace period. So, in total, 7 overs per innings were deleted, and it's a 13-over game. Starting the second over is Ziaul Haq for Stallions, and taking strike is Yash Mahajan. Lahiru and Yash are the 2 opening batters for Raiders in this huge chase of 166. As you see, Zia running in from Highway 290 end. And Yash tries a big hoik, doesn't connect, and it goes straight to the keeper. No harm done. So, Roshan, your take. Do you think this might shape up into a close game, or just there are too many runs for Raiders to respond now?
One thing for sure is that there is a big scoreboard pressure on the Raiders. Let's see how they take this first. Oh, and he is taken by the keeper. Yash is gone. Short of length, and he went for a wild swipe at the ball and is caught behind. So Raiders loses their first wicket for 9 runs, and that was an easy catch by the wicket keeper. And Ziaul Haq has taken the first wicket. Just as we were talking about whether 166 is a big target, if they keep losing wickets, it's going to become very difficult for the Raiders to chase down. As you saw in the first innings, about 60 to 70 runs were scored in the last 3 overs. So anything can happen, but it is going to become a daunting target as wickets fall and good over goes by. So the conditions are, here comes Zia, nicely played towards The point reason, I believe that's Nitish Kumar, who comes in, took his hands out of his pocket and fielded that one nicely. No run there. The conditions are really tough. Cold, windy. That is played nicely, but just a single. That was picked up from his hips, and the new batsman is Angelo Pereira. Houston weather has been on a roller coaster for the past few weeks. I guess it's been going from 70s to 30s to 70s to 30s, and today is one of the colder days in the past few days. Here comes the bowler. Off the pads, I believe, and oh, that could have been a tight run. The fielder at short fine picked up and had a shy at the stumps, but no damage done. Angelo Pereira comes on strike, and that looked like an off-pace delivery that Angelo kind of misread, and it took a few bounces before the keeper collected it. So a very good over so far. So the first two overs, after the first two overs, it's 11 for 1. But again, Munir, like we saw in the last 3 overs, anything can happen.
And that's the same thought I had in my mind, Roshan, because if you recall the first innings, Stallions had a very similar subdued start in the power play. First couple of overs, I think that ball with all the wind that's been blowing and the cloud cover, it did swing. Batting wasn't easy, and that's where, they had that Shayan Jahangir casualty. One of their main batters, they lost it to that new ball. But after that, they really exploded, and I think the Raiders would be hoping for something similar. It's not a very good start. They lost a big wicket in that second over, so 11 for 1. But they would be hoping that they could still capitalize on these other 2 overs in the power play.
And
Backs away.
That's cut away for a 4. He waited on it. I believe that's Lairu Malanta. Waited on it and chopped it between point and short third. Really played it late. And that's probably his first boundary, I believe. And the score moves on to 15. Here comes Jay Surya. Just over the cover fielder's head, and it is... Oh, it just stopped right before the ropes. Took the big boot out and saved a 4, almost couple of runs there. Again, guided down towards the third man boundary. Nicely done again. That's just some, I would say, some classic batting right there. Using the pace of the bowler and just opening the face of the blade. Late, I would say late guiding it towards the third man fence. 4 runs. That is out. It's been taken in the cow corner. And after a couple of good shots, I think Lairu Milanta is gone. And Sehan Jayasuriya picks up his first